Hello, I'm Anji Ismail, and this is the AI Drop. This show is not about me, even though my initials are AI. The show is about artificial intelligence. Every episode, I bring in the best founders and builders to talk about what's next in AI. In this show, I'm bringing in Dan Elkaïm, founder of Topo AI, who revolutionize sales with AI agents. This is not my full-time job. I'm actually the founder of Fint, a company helping corporate finance departments to run faster with AI agents. Please subscribe and follow the show, comments and like if you want, share the episode because that's always very appreciated. Thank you and see you soon. Hey, I'm here with Dan. How are you, Dan?
I'm good. Hi, Angie. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining me. So Dan is the founder and CEO of Topo, a great company that we are going to talk about in a second. Disclaimer: I'm a small investor in this company and super proud of it because they are doing very good. And yeah, we are going to discuss everything related to AI applied to sales. This is a big, big topic. And yeah, Dan is very experienced in sales, so he's going to share more about this. So Dan, can you present yourself like very quickly?
Yeah. Hi, Angie, and hi, everyone. Angie, thank you for having me today. So I'm Dan. I'm working in the tech industry now for 10 years. And my background is mostly on go-to-market. I mean, I did some various go-to-market positions in different software companies before launching Topo. My last experience before launching Topo was in a French company, now proudly a unicorn called Aircall. I've been there for leading sales in EMEA and South EMEA from 10 to 100 million ARR. That was a very huge journey for
10x.
us.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
huge.
10x.
Amazing.
That was a really cool journey. That's where I met one of my co-founder, Robin. He was back in the days head of outbound and growth at Aircall. So that's also coming a lot of knowledge and expertise on the topic that we'll talk today. And yeah, I mean, we both met Angie. I think it was a bit more than a year ago when we were in the Y Combinator batch Winter
Yes, correct.
24. And as you are both an alumni, we had the chance to meet. So we did YC with Topo. Maybe a quick pitch on Topo. So we
Yeah,
are
let's go. Let's go. Go for it. Like a quick.
Yeah, quick pitch. I mean, Topo, we are providing AI agents that are trained to execute outbound playbook for B2B companies.
Mm.
So we are providing to our customers a really pre-trained agent for their industry and their specific use case to execute out super qualitative outbound campaigns at scale. So I will deep dive on it about what does that means. But we launched this product a year ago. We now have more than 100 customers across the globe. And yeah, you can see our website here.
Yeah, I'm sharing it. Yeah, it's you already have some great references, and we're looking at it right now, and we see that you also doing your own support, I guess, which is how founders should be, or everybody is doing
Exactly.
support in startup. Okay, that's very cool. And here we see some of the case study. No, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I want to say hi, maybe Olivier, one of the co-founder of Aircall, because I remember we were together at 500 startups, so that was over 10 years ago. We were not in the same batch, but they joined after us, and they were working in a table really close by. And I wish first I invested in that company. I was not able to invest at that time. But more importantly, it was very interesting to see them grow within the batch. They were already doing great, and very glad to see that there is a Aircall mafia today, like you guys building amazing companies. So yeah, let's get into the topic. So I feel like this space of AI for sales team is a little bit crowded. Like some people say, oh, there is a lot of tools, etc. But what do you think? Like this is maybe big opportunities, not only for you as a startup, but also for customers and for prospect to use AI in their B2B motion.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't like to say that the lead gen space is crowded. I mean, if you are like just getting back to the SaaS era, to the software era, where it was like pretty trendy to build some best of breed products on every step of the funnel, yes, there is a lot of tools. I mean, there is hundreds of tools to do lead gen today. But I think if we are just like looking at AI application layer for sales. I think the space is noisy. You're right. But I think there is a huge opportunity. There is a huge market. I mean, I think when you are talking to all the founders and C-levels in companies, I think mostly for SMBs and mid-market, I think building pipeline is continuously the number one topic for everyone. So that's why there is a lot of noise around AI in sales. And the obvious use case for AI agents were like, okay, how should I like just replace human workflows? And an obvious one is definitely sales and SDR jobs, because like when you step back on a few years, like when we built the first really strong sales organization, really segmented with SDRs, AEs, and so on, and you just wanted to hire people that are like strongly expert and focused on specific tasks, and that make this job really scientific. So sales as an engineering job, I mean, and as now lead gen and sales became an engineering thing, so AI has a huge thing, is a huge play to make into this area. So I think yes, there is a lot of noise. I think that's obvious and that's normal. I think there is like millions of B2B companies that could use AI agents for sales. And I think we are currently building something special.
Okay, no, that's great. That's what you say is like there is a lot of opportunities, a lot of tools, but the market is huge and everybody needs something like that. So what make you, Topo, more like ready for that? Like maybe it's because of your experience, obviously, as a team that have grown sales at a startup previously. But any other thing that makes you also best in this category, at least for today?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, coming from the field, we know how it works, and we know that we don't want to replace the average behavior of an SDR. When you step back and talking to the best companies doing B2B acquisition in the world, I don't know, we can mention Ramp, Brex, Gong, or even like Pigment in Europe. They all have like something in common. They have like a huge tech stack for sales and some even growth engineering teams that are building some tools and that making these tasks really custom for their own business. So to make this job really qualitative, you need to reproduce the behavior of their whole engine that they build internally. Take a look at like all those tools that they use. Some of them are already a commodity. Some other will become a commodity in the coming years with the AI agent thing. And what people missed really much while they are doing outbound, you know, everyone talked about like you need to contact the right people at the right moment with the right message. But people always are focusing on the right message. Like, okay, how can I find a personalized message, a way to do more personalized outreach and so on? That's just so wrong. I mean, we are all receiving tons of messages like, hey, Angie, notice that you are the founder of Fint and you are doing agents for finance and so on. It's just not working at all. Like people are bothered with those kind of emails. So you need to invest much more on the top of the funnel to give the means to your AI agent a lot of data sources to analyze whether the lead is good or not and whether it's a good timing to contact. And that's where we are really, really good. That's where we are the best. We are like target the right lead super precisely, rather than just like sending tons of personalized emails at scale who's not converting.
Okay, no, that's very, very interesting because this is almost at the strategy level rather than the only execution of sending emails, etc. So refining the target and finding a lot of them, I guess. And so, I mean, one question that interests me, of course, this is an AI podcast, and so we're building the future, right? Like you mentioned something that your goal is not to replace the average SDR. So do you want to replace all sales team, or do you say we want to replace certain behavior within the sales team, or do you want to augment the sales team? So how do you see that relationship between what you're building and the existing teams that are doing some good job, just like you were doing at Aircall before?
Yeah. I mean, but to be honest with you, I think what we did at Aircall was great, but it's not working anymore today. I mean, it's just like outbound is evolving so fast that you just need to be aware of that, and you need to build like a machine that is like agile enough to just adapt over time.
Okay.
But to answer your questions, when I say we are not here to replace the average SDR, we are here to replicate the behavior of the top 1% of the SDRs. I mean, really going deep into what they are doing, not just like sending tons of email to a list of contact data. But what I'm saying in terms of sales organization, of course, companies are not firing people to hire AI SDR instead of SDRs.
Okay, they are not
So
right now.
they are not yet.
Okay. Yet.
And what I mean by yet, I think sales organization will totally change in the future. I mean, all the founders and C-level always want to move faster and in an efficient way, maybe more efficient. So I think we will get back to a full cycle rep organization with like sales being able to do the 360 sales cycle, and having agents that are doing their job related to the acquisition, related to the outreach, that will make it possible. Today, it's hard when you are a full cycle sales rep to both closing deals and create pipeline in the meantime. So I think that will be like a real shift in the coming years. That's already happening. Today, we are collaborating with sales teams because we can augment what they are doing without hiring a lot more people. For example, you have a team of SDRs of 2 people. We are giving you the means to do the job of 10s because like our agents will source some leads, scrape data, monitor signal, qualify your lead, engage with them, and just pinpointing the top 5% of your leads that are maybe the hottest one and ready to buy, so that you can focus your human efforts on maybe the hottest one to call them. Sometimes we are just allow customers to launch a new market without hiring new people there. So that's different type of different use case for us to step in the company, show the capabilities of the machine, and then with the time grow with them with, I think, taking much more larger scope in terms of lead gen.
Okay. No, that's super interesting, especially in the approach of augmenting the existing teams, or as you said, like putting together a unique approach for a single market or for a new product that you want to test without hiring people. Exactly. That seems to be super interesting. And so you're a small team, right? So you use, I guess you eat your own dog food, right? Like I saw some of the LinkedIn posts you did with your calendar that was booked. I will try to make a screenshot of this right now. So you had like all this meeting booked through Topo and through your agents. What did you discover using your own product that basically helped you to find early product market fit? Because I know your numbers are pretty good. You're growing very, very good, and you are a small team. How from, like, let's say you are your own customer, what did you learn by using your own product?
Yeah, that's of course today we are using Topo and generating maybe 60% of our pipeline.
Wow. Okay.
So the secret here is like speed of iterations. Okay. Like you have the means today to launch like tons of campaigns, to iterate really fast, to learn from what's working, what's not working. And especially when I was talking before about targeting, it's all about like target the right leads. We're doing like super targeted campaigns. Some people are now talking about micro campaigns. But for example, let me take an example. We have an agent pre-trained and designed for companies selling to developer persona. Okay. I want to find companies in the US that are selling to HR a software, that are using HubSpot, that are currently hiring for an SDR, and that are following one of my competitors. So the agent have access to all those data sources that allow the agent to execute these requests, to find those leads, and to engage with them in a super targeted way. Like, hey, Angie, notice that you are selling to HR, and I was on your job offer for an SDR. I'm sure you could be interested in what we are doing because you are following X or Y. We just released a HubSpot integration that could be interesting for you. Okay. And I mean, I have now 5 data points to have a very targeted outreach. So maybe the sample of leads accessible right now will be really small, but on them we'll convert much more than like a spray and pray approach. And the agent is able to feed this campaign automatically every time a lead match those criteria. So yeah, the speed of iteration, like finding your bread and butter when you are doing outbound in terms of targeting, is definitely key. So I would encourage all of people to really refine for really hyper targeted campaigns, trying to launch a lot of them to have like answer about like what's working, what's not working, and then focusing them only on those ones that have like high converting rate.
No, that's super. That's super smart approach, and I guess more people should be doing that, so that when you receive your inbound emails or outbound emails from the sales guy, they are actually a little bit interesting and they feel more personalized. Not just about, hey, I read your post here, but really something that I have a pain. Some, like if I'm hiring 100%. For someone, right? It means I have I have a pain. One thing, so maybe playing devil advocate a little bit. So sales, especially in B2B, feels a lot like relationship based. I mean, probably for self-service product less, right? You're going to do a search, you're going to find a tool, you're going to sign up, and the product will be selling itself in some way. Like you get the aha moment and say, hey, yeah, this is a great product. But if you are a little bit mid-market or above, there is a lot of relationship to happen with the stakeholder, with your buyer on the other side. Mm-hmm. And so one thing we can read is that, AI, SDR, AI sales automation create some distance because people on the other side of the email know that it's automated. So what point do you think the human should make the intervention? For example, when I think about this, I think, do you think there is any opportunity for AI sales call and AI sales demo that will be like an avatar talking to you through the product, etc.? Or do you think it's too early? What do you think about that, like the relationship building in the sales cycle?
Yeah. So always saying that like agents are really good to execute really complex workflows. They are bad at crafting strategies. So
Okay.
they are bad yet at crafting strategies. So what does that mean is that as a sales rep myself, I just want to spend my time with customers. I want to sit on my chair and having my calendar filled by my agent and talking to people that seems to be relevant for me and I will be relevant for them. So I need to refine and to fine tune my agent about like what's matter the most, what is my ICP, and everyone in the world, all the companies in the world have the same way to define their ICP. I mean, we have some customers that are competing, that are direct competitors against them, and their definition of what is a good lead for them is definitely not the same. There are, and why the agent is pretty good is that like the outcome is not the same for all of them. I mean, they are not contacting exactly the same lead because they have their own definition of what makes a good lead. So in my opinion, I think bad AI SDRs will block a bit like those relationship building thing. But the good ones, you are not supposed to detect that like the email you received was done by an agent. I mean, when I was like starting all my demos generated by Topo, people are starting to ask me, was it your email or was it like an email by your agent?
Yeah.
And they already have been exposed to the product before I demo them. So that was a great point. To answer the second part of your question regarding like the demo, the trial, the demo agents, and the calling. I mean, I'm a bit skeptical on outbound calling through AI for like many reasons around the regulation, around like if you are just like seen in the wrong way, use it in the wrong way, you can fear that in a few years, if it's accessible to anyone, maybe the phone numbers, the phone of everyone in the world could ring in the same time. That's a bit like a Black Mirror episode. So I mean, I'm a bit skeptical about like outbound voice. I think for inbound, that's an obvious use case that will be a strong one. And regarding AI demos, in my opinion, it's definitely not applicable to everyone in the world. But there is a lot of frustration for like sales-led companies, indeed ourselves, even ourselves. Like for the buyers, they are waiting to book a demo with someone, and they just want to have answers to their question. So maybe they will be okay just to talk to an AI avatar that is well trained to answer the questions they got on the product.
Yeah.
Just because they just want to have answer, don't want to wait a week before having a demo. I think the sales rep will join and will come, but it will maybe allow like SMB targeted like businesses to have a more transactional sales cycle. That's not something that we are looking at right now. But that's something interesting in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds interesting because especially we always say sales is about timing. And so when someone has the need to look for a new tool, you don't want to go to YouTube, watch demo, or go to FAQ. You just want to sometimes play with the product and get answers for your specific use case. So maybe you're right. Like this is where AI avatars or AI agents can get on a quick call and pitch you the product and answer some of your questions. I think so. This space is specifically right. AI applied to sales has been one of the first one to be very disrupted, or where you start seeing very big revenue from startup. I think marketing was probably copywriting, etc., with Jasper and this type of tool, like maybe 2-3 years ago. Then we start seeing you guys and some others maybe a year ago. And now what we're seeing today, like crazy growth, is obviously the coding tools, right? Like the cursor, the lovable, like text to app and stuff like that. But in every of these disruption of tools of existing SaaS, something is in common, is that VC, they don't get it right. It seems like they have a lot of bad takes on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and it feels like VC themselves are trying to assess what this market are and what is going, like who are going to be the winners. And I personally think, like in B2B software, there is no winner takes all. Obviously, it's like the market is so fragmented. So anything you could say about like your interaction with VCs or investors about what they get wrong about this specific space? You don't have to give name, but like just in general, because, it's not that founders know better, but founders are doing that every day. So they can see, especially I think what would be interesting is comparing your current sales cycle. You built like a B2B sales motion before, right? So they are not the same persona buying, or actually maybe a little bit, right? Like
same.
The people buying at Aircall was the same. So how do you see people buying AI today that is different from buying SaaS, and especially in light of VC take on this market and this type of motion?
Yeah, so I try to be a kind guy.
Yeah, of course.
So I think like everyone else in the space are a bit confused about what's happening currently with the business model like us, like AI agents company. It's really, really important to mention the fact that this is a year ago or a bit more are starting to talk about like service as a software. And then now we are talking about like work as a software. So it's important to say we are not selling a product, we are not selling a software anymore, we are selling work.
Yeah.
That means that we are both replacing labor cost and tooling cost. And that's a huge difference. Back in the days when we were at Aircall, we were selling productivity to sales and support teams. Productivities, that means, okay, maybe we're using Aircall. Instead of logging your calls manually through your business tools, you can win an hour a week, maybe plus, if you are using our software. That was like the first ways of productivity tools. Now, with AI agents, we are talking about replacing a whole business workflow. And there is a lot of hype, there is a lot of noise. So I think VCs still need to figure out who are the serious players, who are the builders in the space, and who are the wave surfers.
The tourists.
Exactly. Who are doing like fake ARR, who are doing like really bad quality revenue. We are impacted with that. As we are in this space, they're all trying, even prospect as well.
Exactly.
They're all trying to understand whether you are a serious guy or not, because there are like a lot of scam in the AI ecosystem right now. And to answer the second part of your question about like the buying cycle and the buying behavior, the sales cycle are much more transactional than before. Really short, because you should try it. Everyone in the world want to try it and want to make this work, want to believe into the promise to say that at some point, maybe I can automate maybe one workflow or a part of a workflow with an AI agent. So it's just worth a shot. You want to try it to see if it could adapt to your specific business. And as you are replacing labor cost, you still, I think that's not our positioning anymore, but like for a lot of people, you still like a cheaper option than hiring someone and see if it's like a good candidate or not. So we see definitely, we have if we compare back in the days at Aircall with the same type of ACV, currently our sales cycles are around 10 days. And for the same type of ACVs at Aircall, the sales cycle was around 90.
Okay, this is big. I think this is what I heard also. So like as a summary, it's basically everybody has its own take and everybody is trying to understand what's behind the hype and identify the winners and the other bad players maybe in the space. Very interesting. Thank you for that. Maybe to come back to some of the structure about the company. So you guys are based in France, but you were in the US obviously for the YC batch. What do you see different from both markets, France or Europe in general, and the US? like on the buyer side, like on the motion of buying AI tools specifically, and also any interest to grow more in the US versus Europe? Like, do you have any aspiration around that?
Yes. Currently, we have like 50% of our customers that are in the US. We spent half of the year in the US in 2024. I think there's two main learnings I've got. The first one for early stage founders, they should move to the US at some point where they're trying to find product market fit, because I think people in the US are just more direct, honest when they are doing feedback.
Yeah.
And they know that could help you building your own journey. No fear to just like not being polite. And that was the huge help for us in the journey. Okay, this thing is interesting. This is really nice to have. I don't care about this. And they are really truly honest. I mean, if they are buying, that's a good signal. If not, that just means that they don't need what you are building.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah. So that's the first learning. The second learning is that I don't see, before when we were at Aircall, people were saying like, hey, the sales cycle are faster in the US, but they can churn faster as well. I don't see this. I mean, it's not something that we live at Topo at the moment, but something that really impressed me is that in Europe, our typical customers are like tech-savvy company. No matter if they are like a product or a service company, but like they have tech savviness pretty high. In the US, it's really different. Like we have some customers that are like really established businesses here for 30 years, and they are already implementing AI in their business workflows. That's something really impressive that we not having yet in Europe. Okay. Yeah, that's not, AI is just not a thing for startups in the US. We say this with our customers.
Okay. No, this is great. So like we know, especially in Silicon Valley, this is even more true. Like customers are super demanding on the product quality, deliverability, etc. And also they are probably in the US more risk takers. So they will try you, but they will ditch you. Like they will churn very quickly if it's not what they're expecting. While I agree in France and in Europe, like it's longer sales cycle because, hey, I don't like you, but I like you a little bit. And like there is a little bit of this dance. And at the end, they end not buying, or they buy, but they don't use too much, or they will be like just not being very transparent with their expectation and with their result. And you cannot see if your product is performing well or not, and they will be churning. You don't even know why. So I see that. So that's great. And yeah, I agree. Like European funders should build things in the US because this market is just crazy and goes super fast. Maybe now, like quick answers for founders that are listening to us. What would be a mistake that you did, either using AI or not? Like I'm interested, even if it's a tool that you tested that didn't work, that you want to share. Don't name them because we're not here for that. But like anything where AI made you make a mistake or another mistake, like as a founder, because we all do mistakes. That's part of the job.
Yeah, I mean, not a mistake related to the use of AI, but in the story of Aircall, we pivoted from a previous product to a new one, and that was like a huge basic lesson. We all hearing like podcasts and videos from YC, reading books from programs and blog posts and so on. So we all like live with the mindset, but I think when you are building something, it's really easy to forget those main principles. And we launched a previous product before launching this one, and we just did the mistake to scale thing where we didn't have so much conviction. And I think where, for example, you are hiring your first salespeople without having found a real PMF, or you are like trying to raise money before having like a clear conviction on your vision and your next steps. Like we did all those mistakes. So I would say the first one is to say, okay, just stay lean, learn fast. Another mistake that is really interesting is that on a previous product, we locked customers for 12 months on the contract.
Okay.
That was a huge mistake. I mean, you want to have churn when you are pretty early, and you want to have churn really fast. You want to learn fast, to churn fast, learn faster. So I think stay on a month-to-month contract to have feedback from your market and your user. If they have stopped paying your tool, that means that you missed something. That's something that we learned also last year.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, and building conviction, I guess. For the first part of your answer, building conviction is mostly with customers, right? Talking to customers, knowing if they want what you're building. Also, you should like what you're building, I guess. So if you can eat your own dog food, that's great, because you're going to see if your product work for you, it might work for others. On the contract side, I will push back a little bit, because I think pilot in the AI
really
world
depends.
is, yeah, I think it depends. Yeah. But like on the AI world, I think pilot are very interesting, because everybody is cautious from, fake AI tools that are not like, that are gadgets. So I think another opportunity is to offer a pilot that are 30 days, 60 days max. And then you see if you have a wrong conversion from pilot to contract, then you need to build. But if you can secure 1 year or even 2 year MSA when you sell to enterprise, that could be also a way to expand inside those organizations. But 100%. I agree. I think you should never discount the fact that long contract can hide churn. And so I think, again, we mentioned Jasper. I think I heard that was one of their big problem, is that they locked in a lot of customers. They grow the AR by, I don't know, dozens of millions. And then after the first year, boom, they got like crazy churn, because 100%. Of course, by the time you start the retention cycle, new tools are coming. AI is much powerful. GPT is getting 10x better. No, that's a great advice. And great points. Maybe the last thing, because we make this podcast quick and to the point, but projecting for 5 years from now or 10 years from now, where you guys at? Like, are you the main power selling tool for sales team? Do you think there are opportunity to grow either the type of functions you help, like you are SDR today, and then you are, some, like tomorrow you are CRO or VP of sales or whatever? Or do you think there is like a way to do other type of agents? What's your point of view on that? And I know it's very early, it's hard to project so far when you're a startup, but interesting to hear your thoughts.
No, but I mean, that's a very interesting point. In my opinion, as things are moving so fast currently, I think agents will become so easy to build in the coming years, and will become a commodity for a lot of businesses to use in their own business workflow. So if we are jumping 5 years in the future, every companies in the world will use agents for their business workflows. All the agents will be average, pretty cheap. You need to stick at something and to build something really strong. And I think the agents that you are building, and maybe not the thing the most important in your company, but are the two main things is like the product behind, like what is the engine that you are using to give the power to your agents to make the job correctly, and what are the data that you could use to train this agent really the best way in the market. I think my position and our position at Topo will be to stick at B2B acquisition, because that's a huge opportunity. And to do it well, I mean, some of our competitors are starting to talk about like new agents that they are about to launch, about customer success and customer support and so on. I think that's a huge mistake.
Okay, it's good for them. Let's do them whatever they want, and you keep your focus.
100%. So yeah, I mean, we'll be the best agent for lead generation in the world.
Okay. Oh, I love that. I think, and there is so much room to grow in that category already. If you are the big winner of that category, there is a good future for you guys. Any last thoughts, like on either on tips for startups or on the AI adoption that you want to add? Any last thoughts?
I mean, I'm personally a huge fan of voice.
Okay.
So I'm using AI on my daily basis, just like with like the voice-to-voice thing, to try to build my own GPTs using voice and implement it in my way to answer to emails. So that makes like more consistent thing. I think everyone should find his own way, like the best way to use AI they way. I don't have any specific hacks. I mean,
everything now, just try, right? Like just try things and be curious. I guess for me, like recently I started switching from ChatGPT to Gemini, because in the enterprise version of Google they have everything baked in. So very interesting way to actually answer your emails, not yet your call. I would love to have this as well. For people who call me to sell me things, I will just send them my avatar. But no, Dan, thank you very much. It was great to have you on the show, and we wish you the best of success with Topo. And we will, of course, ask people to visit topo.io if they are doing B2B, and of course they need to sell, because that's the only thing you should do.
we will help. I will do the demo myself. But thanks a lot, NG. Thanks a lot,
Thanks.
NG, for your time and for your help.
Of course. Thank you.